QB injuries to update. Let's start with Micah Parsons, actually, and then we'll get to the quarterbacks. Go ahead.
Yeah, Micah Parsons did not practice today, Laura, and this would be the fourth straight game that he would miss if he can't play. And the fact that he can't practice right now on a Wednesday leading into Dallas's next game is a sign that he's not fully recovered from that high ankle sprain. And now you have to wonder why they didn't place him on IR to save that roster spot. With Micah Parsons not being out there for practice would be a loss to the Dallas defense. Meanwhile, no practice today for Lamar Jackson. The Ravens quarterback John Harbaugh said after practice it was a rest day for Lamar Jackson. So the NBA has load management, and as it turns out, so does the NFL, and this is the NFL's version of load management with Lamar Jackson not practicing today. Jared Goff, the Lions quarterback, tweaked his ankle in practice today, said he expects to practice tomorrow, but he didn't practice at all today, which is interesting. Certainly the fact that the Lions quarterback is not out there in a week of a big divisional battle against the Green Bay Packers when there are questions about the Packers quarterback, Jordan Love, who also did not practice today due to the groin injury that he suffered last week. Now, Jordan Love has been through this before, not practicing, coming back to play. I still think that he's determined to get back to playing. I still think that there is a real chance that he'll be able to play on Sunday against the Detroit Lions, but we have Jordan Love dealing with a groin injury. We've got Jared Goff dealing with an ankle injury, and we've got some quarterback questions heading into a key NFC North battle on Sunday.
There's plenty more from Adam throughout the show, lots more updates to get to, but here's what Matt LaFleur said about Love today.
I think, yeah, he's moving around better. We'll see. Again, we'll take it one day at a time, and certainly, yeah, we'll push the envelope with that. And I know he wants to play, and but we'll see where he's at by the end of the week.
So there's that, and Jordan Love actually just told reporters he thinks it's, quote, realistic that he could play this week. So take that for what you will. The Packers have called a design run on 68% of plays in the two games that Malik Willis started. With Love as a starter, drops to 41%. All those runs could be good, actually, against the Detroit defense if Love can't go on Sunday. The Lions have allowed 4.7 yards per rush this season, 22nd in the NFL. Dan, it does sound like, well, at least Jordan Love's saying it's realistic that he can play in this one. You heard Adams reporting as well. Do you play him, though, if he's not 100% against the Lions?
I mean, if the doctors tell me that there's a chance that he can re-injure it or make it worse, there's no shot. They got to bye next week. And we're getting into the time now where not only are we talking playoffs for certain teams, we're talking about seeding, winning divisions, being the number one seed. If you're the Green Bay Packers and you see where you sit, as great as Malik Willis has stepped in, we're talking about the Packers and the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons, the Eagles, Washington Commanders as teams that realistically are having conversations of being that division winner and or number one seed. So if the doctors tell you, yeah, he's going to be okay, listen, there's always a risk, but there's not an elevated risk of doing more damage to it, then play him. But if they intimate, yeah, he can, make this worse and he's going to be out multiple weeks, then with the bye week next week, you absolutely don't play him.
I say don't play him. Look, it's Wednesday. He's not practicing. Even if I don't care what the tests say, he left the football game on Sunday, right? And in my opinion, they have to think about the big picture. I don't want to risk having my number one quarterback in more important games for the remainder of the season or dealing or being hobbled by an injury for one game. I know the Lions are the best team in the NFL going right now, and I'm not saying you concede a loss, but if there is any chance or issue that he could re-aggravate it, give him the rest. Let him get to the bye. When they come back from the bye, they have the Bears, the Niners, the Dolphins, the Lions again, and then the Seahawks. You're going to need that quarterback down the stretch. You have to think big picture.
Yeah, that's a good point about the remaining schedule. It's also exciting for me to think about the fact that we're getting closer to those games.
We're getting there. Number one is in the conversation now.
It's happening. How about this? So, as Adam told you minutes ago, Lamar Jackson didn't practice today, but John Harbaugh said it's just a rest day. So, sounds like Lamar should be good to go for the Broncos this week. And here's something to keep an eye on in that game outside of Lamar. Baltimore's passing defense has been horrible this season. Okay, the Ravens tied with the Jaguars and Panthers for the most passing touchdowns allowed this year. They also rank in the bottom 5 in yards allowed per attempt, first down percentage, and they're the last in the league in completions allowed of at least 20 yards. Reminder, Mike McDonald, their defensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Seahawks, things haven't worked out maybe how they planned, or it's taken them a little longer to get this going. Hawk, when you look at this Ravens secondary in particular, what are the issues?
Yeah, when I watch them, I'm seeing bad technique. I'm seeing confusion. It's much deeper than just playing bad. Like, they are routinely out of position. They're not lining up well. Look, this is against the bunch, Elijah Moore. You see they have no idea how to play the bunch, and it creates an easy completion for the Browns. Next here, you're going to see a slant from the bottom of the screen that they're just giving him free release down the middle of the field. And the last one was the big touchdown to Tillman. They're going man-to-man. You're sitting the safety in no man's land. Every single route they would have threw at that safety would have worked. Because also, you don't have a pass rush, right? I've seen elementary school Toy Story Halloween costumes scarier than the Ravens pass rush. So when you have that, and you're also not playing with technique, or you're out of position, or you routinely look confused, that is much deeper than effort or people just playing poorly.
Toy Store or Toy Story?
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Well, you know there's that really creepy.
Disney IP.
Yeah, on like Toy Story 4.
Yeah. Hawk's on brand. He's a company man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Okay.
So I think there's nothing about this defense from an offensive perspective that looks like the past. Number one, situationally, they're soft when it comes to their coverage. Hawk, you pointed out that slant. That's not the old guys. It's 3rd and 3. You know how easy it is as a quarterback to have 3rd and 3 and you don't cover the slot there? I mean, that's pitch and catch. And then number two, you don't see a lot of people making plays on the ball. It's just there's this one-on-one. They just don't break up the pass game that much. And then the second thing is, Hawk, you intimated, quarterback it very rarely feels pressured in the pocket. It's not only that they're not getting there, it's they're not disrupting the operational space for a quarterback. This was an organization defensively that, they wouldn't give you a thing completions. Usually sit there at the line of scrimmage going, where do I get 4 yards here? Or you'd be like, if I don't get this ball out in 2 seconds, I'm going to get destroyed. And it just, when you watch this tape, it doesn't feel the suffocating fashion defensively like it has in the past.
So Roquan Smith recently told me that his emphasis, of course, he's like such a great defensive player. He's the leader of that defense. The emphasis has been to be more aggressive for him. And that's been something that he's tried to do. He said that almost like trying to set that tone for everybody else.
Yeah.
Is aggression?
Yeah, I mean, some of that is that situationally soft stuff. You're just giving us stuff.
Right.
You're not making us earn stuff as an offense. So there's aggression there. I also think we've attached, rightfully so, we've attached Zadarius Smith to the Detroit Lions. I don't know if they would do it in division, but you could absolutely sit there and say Zadarius Smith and the Ravens would make a ton of sense as well.
They've been adding players, and it feels like they've added most of them offensively.
Right.
Maybe they need somebody on the defense, to your point.